Welcome guys. We have a 2010 model Ford Escape. Car came in with a no start. Basically, yeah, turn the key on, ignition on, but when you go to crank it, nothing happens on start. Okay, we're gonna quickly see if we can diagnose this car today. First thing I want to do is just go to the starter motor relay. Maybe let's see what we can do there. Guys, we've got a starter motor relay right here, so we're just gonna do a couple of checks right on the starter motor relay. It's just you can see the starter motor on the little description there, layouts there. That's the starter motor relay. Basically, we're just gonna look which pins belongs to where and what. So we got 86, 87, so that's a 87, that's a 30, 80, sorry, 87A, 86 and 85 this way. So basically what we want to do is we want to see the main power feed. So that's our main power feed for the starter motor, and the starter motor will the relay will engage, and this pin will send the power down to the starter motor. And on this side we got pin 86, and 85 should be the control to turn the relay on and off, and I got nothing at the moment. Let's change the polarity to battery positive. Okay, and let's just check what we got here. Just test our test light. We got earth on pin 85, and we got nothing on that pin there. So we know pin 30 and 87, these two pins here. See if I can light that up a bit so you can see a bit better. So basically pin 30 and a pin 87 here. So we know pin 30 has power. Now 87 or 30 doesn't matter, they can be interchangeable. One pin has power, so that pin should send power down this way whenever you want to turn that starter motor on. So let's put a jumper wire here, and I'm going to send the power down that path and see if the starter tries to crank. And when you're doing this type of bypassing, make sure your gears in park, maybe even pull the handbrake up, because when you bypass starter motor like that, if the car is in drive or reverse, it will start to move, okay, if you start that car. So make sure a bit of safety there. We're just gonna use a bit of a jumper cable here. I might just use a fusible jumper cable, just like this. Make sure the fuse is okay in there. Our fuse looks alright. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna quickly try to start this car by jumping it, and I got nothing. Alright, just to make sure we don't have a problem with our jumper lead or whatever, I'm just gonna quickly test a test light between the battery positive and negative, and it lights up. So we know the jumper cable is good, fuse is good, and when you do that, that should turn that starter motor on, and it is not. Okay, if I'm doing everything right, let's make sure it is. So pin 30 and 87, that should be right. It's already looking like we got some issue with the starter motor itself or the wiring going to it. Whatever the case, the previous mechanics who looked at the car, they all told him that it needs an ignition switch, maybe keys, or could be something to do with the immobilizer. And one mechanic told them that it needs a you know, the gearbox, the cable, the gear lever cable, because it's not detecting that it's in park. That's why it's not starting. Oh, he had multiple stories from different mechanics, and some mechanics gonna charge him, I think it was like $1,300. Yeah, that was the Ford dealership. They wanted to charge like $1,300-1,200 to put a new ignition switch system, something like that. But anyway, it's already looking like it's not gonna be anything else other than starter motor, because that starter motor should do something when I jump that 2 wires. Okay, well, anyway, let's keep going. It could be, I could be wrong, I could be doing something wrong here. Now another one, another thing I want to do is so we don't have power, so we got earth here. Let's just go back to positive there, and we look for earth. Just testing my test light. See, we got earth on that pin 80, whatever that was, hang on, pin 85. So what that means is I should see positive here, power. So let's switch our test light, put it to negative, and we want to see if this side has positive when I go to crank this engine. Okay, let's do that. I'm not damaging that pin, guys, I'm just sitting it next to it, just holding it. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but I'll try my best. I'm gonna go and try to crank this engine. Alright, I don't know if you guys can see that or not, the test light standing just under the bonnet from the windscreen. So I'm gonna try to start this car and see that test light lighting up. Right there, you can see test light going off, test light coming on. So that's already suggests there is nothing wrong with the ignition switch or ignition system, immobilizer. I don't think that's anything wrong there. Okay, look at that. So it's more towards the starter motor side. I don't have the wiring diagram yet. If that cable goes directly to the starter motor, more than likely the problem is the starter motor, or could be the wiring too. So, but if there's anything in between, could be that. So maybe quickly let's pull up a wiring diagram here. Something, it's a L3 2.3 liter engine. That's what we got. And they don't have a wiring diagram for engine. Okay, see, this is one of the problem we face in Australia. We don't always have all the wiring diagrams available, like in America and I don't know, other countries. Yeah, it's so limited, like it's basically no wiring diagram. We can probably go and try Mazda. Mazda Tribute is the same engine. Maybe not for 2010 because they let's have a look here. Should be there. Mazda Tribute. So let's go Mazda Tribute 2001 to 2008. I think they did stop making Tribute at 2008 probably. Okay, it's not going to work for me. Let's try a different wiring diagram system here. Hopefully this one will give me something. I'll have to log in on this one too. And Tribute, no, Fordscape, Escape 2010 2.3. I don't really need a wiring diagram here, guys. I'm just trying to make it a little bit easy for you guys to understand, that's all. I do not think if I were to do this job by myself without videoing, I don't really necessarily need a wiring diagram. And this one doesn't have wiring diagram either. So, okay, I cannot show you guys what I was doing with the help of wiring diagram, but let's go back and see if we can figure this out without a wiring diagram. So the problem we are facing here is from the relay to the starter motor. Okay, so let's see if we can find the starter motor. We may even have to put it on the hoist. Sometimes the wiring can go from here to park neutral switch in the gearbox and to the starter motor. Sometimes I've seen that type of design as well, but I am not sure. Like I said, I don't have a wiring diagram, and I'm trying to find that starter motor where they live. I do not see anything from the top. We may have to go underneath, guys. Okay, so let's do that. So what I want to do here is, because we know that we think that everything up to the relay here is fine, and I think relays should be fine too, because we're trying to put direct power down there. It's not working. So what I want to do, I want to put jumper here, put direct feed all the time, go down to the starter motor and check if that power is getting to the starter motor or not. Okay, I'm gonna have to put this car on the hoist. Just put this car in park, handbrake on, make sure safety first, guys, always. I'm gonna put this jumper cable on this relay on pin 30 and on pin 87 and keep it there permanent, and we're gonna go downstairs and do some testing. I'm just thinking about the safety first, guys, because we don't want, because sometimes when you know, moving things around there, wiring or starter motor, or touching something there, sometimes the starter motor can come back to life, the circuit can come back to life, and we got a jumper up here. So I really do not want to keep the starter motor running if it just in case it start to engage, you know what I'm saying. So I'm gonna have to think of a different way where I can enable and disable this this starter as I'm doing all the testing down there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a power from this one, just making sure it doesn't touch anything. Okay, and then we're gonna just put the other pin on this one. So and we'll go downstairs and we'll do our testing. So when we have these two connected, basically we're gonna jump that starter right like that, and just want to quickly make sure that what we're doing is all good and all our jumper wires are good. So basically I'm gonna check for power on this side of the circuit, and I want to see the power get to the other side of the circuit when I'm jumping it. See that? So I got power to this side, which is permanent power, and on this side we got power when we jump, so that means all my setup here is good. Okay, I'm doing this because I'm by myself here, so if I had someone I could just simply ask them to crank the engine for me while I'm doing my testing downstairs, but I don't have anyone here with me tonight, so I'm gonna have to just use this setup here. So let's go up now. Alright guys, we can have a bit of access from here now. We can at least see what's going on. Right, I hope you guys can see that. So alright, so I didn't even have to do anything, guys. As soon as I touched it, it started working. Okay, so I'm gonna have to come down and have a look here, but while I'm here, all I did is just touch something there, a wire or something, and it started working. So we know everything up to the starter motor is good. More than likely the fault is in the starter motor, guys. But while I'm here already, I want to quickly see if any of the bolts are loose on the wiring, or you know, wiring harness is loose or something like that. Let me just do that. I don't see any pins being damaged. All the bolts are tight. I don't see anything wrong there, so it's gonna be purely a starter motor problem, guys. Thank you for watching. Yeah guys, yeah, I didn't do anything, guys. So my plan was to bridge this wire and check for the power at the starter motor, the signal at the starter motor to turn the solenoid on. But you know, there you go, sometimes happens. So it needs a new starter motor, guys. Thank you.